That's why we're encouraging them to get at least 60 minutes of exercise and play every day. It's called NFL Play 60. The best 60 minutes of the day. Join the movement at NFLRush.com.
On game day, Visa debit is easier than cash. More people go with Visa.
Set to begin the third quarter here in Cleveland, Ohio. A 13-10 Browns lead. Pleasure to be joined by the third member of our broadcast team today. Standing along the sidelines, Carissa Thompson.
Well, guys, the big news coming out in the Minnesota locker room is Adrian Peterson getting an IV at halftime. Issues of hydration. We will see how that plays out in the second half. I have to tell you, that was a very quiet group coming out of there. I saw Eric Bieniemy, the running back coach, right before halftime, get up in the faces of all of his running backs. None too happy with their performance, basically sending the message that these guys need to man up and play a lot better in the second half. Brad Childress's message, be more productive on first and second down, then we don't have to force third and long. Guys?
Carissa, thank you very much. You look at Peterson. In the first quarter, he carried it 7 times for 24 yards. In the second quarter, 2 carries for 1 yard. And obviously some dehydration issues. And this is the rookie Percy Harvin. He bounces it to the outside, across the 40, back to the inside, and brings it all the way back to the 45-yard line. A 41-yard return for the Florida Gator, Percy Harvin, who left at the end of his junior year.
Well, coming out of the draft, you felt like Percy Harvin, Jeremy Maclin, these were going to be the 2 receivers coming out because of what they added to the game in terms of special teams as well, that might have the biggest impact for their teams coming out as rookies.
Adrian Peterson is back on the field. On first down for Brett Favre, who hit on 8 of 12 in the first half. They're going to hand it to Peterson. Tucks it back to the inside. A good first down run, a gain of 5. Well, special teams certainly a factor for Cleveland in that first half. Right from the opening kickoff, when Minnesota tried to surprise the Browns, catch them asleep, that wasn't going to happen. Turn that into 3 points. A pair of field goals by Phil Dawson, and then the return game. Second career punt return for a touchdown by Cribbs. The 7th overall return for a touchdown in his career. Going to give it to Peterson on second down, and he has first down yardage to the Cleveland 44-yard line.
Well, head coach Eric Mangini brought Brad Seeley from the New England Patriots, longtime special teams coach with Bill Belichick. Mangini familiar with Brad Seeley, really one of the better special teams coaches in the league, and it's paying dividends so far.
This time Favre works out of the shotgun. And he hands it to Harvin. Tries to turn the corner. Breaks one tackle and then runs right through Brandon McDonald. And that'll be a gain of 11 on a rush by Percy Harvin, and another Vikings first down. The 6-time Pro Bowler Steve Hutchinson leading the charge.
Well, and Hutchinson and McKinney on that left side are obviously the strength of this offensive line for the Minnesota Vikings. McKinney obviously coming into the fruition, so to speak, of what was expected of him as a first-round draft choice in 2002.
Well, again, Peterson is on the sidelines, down on a knee.
Yes, sir.
And the play clock expired on Brett Favre.
Delay game. Offense, number 4, 5-yard penalty. First down.
All right, let's go inside some of the numbers in the opening half. Anything jump out at you, Coach, in a 13-10 game?
As I said earlier when we came out of it, when the thing that jumps at me the most is not so much how productive the Browns have been in their rushing game, but the fact that they've stayed with it, that they're willing to commit to it against this very good rushing defense of the Minnesota Vikings.
Favre to throw on 1st and 15. And he's looking for Rice. He makes the catch. No. Apparently could not get 2 feet in bounds. Working on Brandon McDonald. Well, that's a nice throw there by Favre. And Rice, a big, tall, physical receiver at 6'4".
It is. This is a great job. Of course, this is the rule that was put in effect last year. Last year, had he made this catch with that little bit of a force out, they may have very well called that a force out, but there does not exist anymore. You've got to get both feet in bounds, period. And it looks like that left foot, I don't know. Brad Childress doesn't look like he's going to go challenge it. I'm not sure that left foot didn't find its way in bounds.
Favre hands it to Taylor, who again is spelling Peterson. Peterson continues to have major issues on that sideline. He just got off his feet.
Well, Brad
got back up on his feet.
Brad Childress yesterday talked about how none of these guys have taken 70 snaps yet, typical in a game, and that you expect that in the first game. Of course, the Vikings don't have a challenge left. And still, I'm up in the booth and I can't keep track of my challenges anymore. But you would have loved to have maybe pulled the challenge on that one, because it looked like that left foot might have landed in bounds.
Play clock down to 5. Favre telling everybody to be ready. Look at the play design for Shenko, and he just does get tripped up inside the 20, but that's a first down. Asante Shenko, a former New York Giant, who had a career-high 42 catches and 7 touchdowns a season ago.
Just a little tight, quick screen to the tight end. They see a screen. Defenses start to see a screen evolve. They tend to go real wide because most screens are wide. Tight end slipping back inside. Big conversion for Minnesota, putting him on the 20.
Saw that signal from Favre to Rice. And interference will be called this time on Brandon McDonald.
Same type of call we saw earlier. It drives defensive backs nuts.
Saw Favre in the line of scrimmage tap his helmet while looking at Rice. What was he saying?
Pass interference. Defense number 22. Contact without playing the ball. Automatic first down at the spot of the foul.
Yeah, he was basically telling him, I don't care what we got on. Looked like it was a quick run play. You go fade. I like the matchup. I like you out here on the outside. Obviously, they see something, whether it's the size disparity between Rice and Wright. But he saw what he liked. And Brett Favre, again, this is what Brett Favre's here to do, to take advantage of that. Excuse me, McDonald, not Eric Wright.
Adrian Peterson back on the field. 1st and goal. That's a 16-yard pickup on the penalty. Peterson to the inside. And he's close to the 1-yard line. Gang tackled. Led by Corey Williams.
This is the test for the Minnesota Vikings. This is as a coach, and if you want to be a running team, a physical team, I mean, you'll take a score any way you can get it, but you'd love to push this thing in. I don't care how many plays you've run during training camp, whether obviously it's probably getting a little warm out there and you're tired. You'd love to run this thing in.
9th play of the drive, and they won't get it in on that. Hand off to Peterson. First man there stepping up is Eric Barton in his 11th season, now out of Maryland, one of those 6 New York Jets from a season ago, now getting lots of playing time on the Cleveland defense.
And you can see here the Cleveland defenders, everybody's selling out to the run. It's one of those, you're taking a guess. If you're thinking run and they run, you're going to stuff it. If they give you a little quick play action, all of a sudden that's when you see someone standing behind you holding the ball for a touchdown, because they were total sellout to stop the run there.
3rd and goal. Peterson this time is into the end zone. Touchdown, Minnesota. Nafahu Tahi leading the way from the fullback spot. And Peterson, for the 2nd time today, has a touchdown.
Again, this is just a tone setter. This is Brad Childress saying, you know what, we have got to punch this thing in. As we said, which way did they go? That left side behind Hutchinson and McKinney. If I'm going to put my money on the line, I'm going to do it against that Pro Bowl left side with Hutchinson and that 1st-round draft choice of Bryant McKinney.
Got to believe he's probably bleeding in his left arm there, Adrian Peterson. We talked about the fluids he was getting at halftime, and more than likely that's where he was getting it. Carissa Thompson, I'm sure, will check on that. What we know is Peterson, blood and all, has a touchdown to give Minnesota a 4-point lead.
Southwest Airlines, we love bags.
We love duffel bags, golf bags, small bags.
These bags right here, they fly free.
I wouldn't pay to fly in here.
Why would these airlines charge for bags?
Why do you charge for bags? What's a flight without bag fees?
About $100 cheaper.
Free, 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 free.
We love taking care of bags.
Bye, bags.
We'll see you when you get home.
So our family is playing a game of Monopoly, and Caitlin's already snapped up half the hotels.
Thank you.
Her little brother has nothing. But then just like that, Caitlin helps him out. I don't need a wall and a piece of chalk to mark the growth of my kids. We can just play Monopoly.
Family moments cost less at Walmart. Monopoly Championship Edition and other Hasbro games at unbeatable prices. Save money, live better. Walmart.
Cash for clunkers came and went. Turn out the lights. The party's over. Well, sort of. Because everybody knows the after party is where it's at. And right now, it's at Hyundai, where your old car just went up in value. Buy a new Santa Fe and you'll get the Hyundai trade-in bonus. $1,000 more than what your old car is worth, plus cash back. And while supplies last, you'll get a year's worth of gas for just $1.49 a gallon. Looks like you're on the A-list after all.
Today's game is sponsored by Southwest Airlines. Southwest Airlines is ready when you are. Go to southwest.com, grab your bag, it's on. By DirecTV, follow your favorite team no matter where you live with NFL Sunday Ticket on DirecTV. By Walmart, save money, live better, Walmart. And by Hyundai Assurance, a little certainty in uncertain times.
Well, clearly Adrian Peterson, as we speculated, that's where they gave him those fluids at halftime that Carissa Thompson reported on. And apparently they haven't gotten that thing bottled up. A lot of blood coming out of that arm. Joshua Cribbs out to the 28-yard line. So while they work on Peterson, we'll step out. 17-13, Minnesota in front.
All right, next problem. Who's got it? You look like you got a problem. What's your problem, son?
Hi, my name is Mike.
Mike.
Mike. Hi. My problem is that I have a really small bladder, and I go to the bathroom like 5 times every 20 minutes, maybe.
Mike, I know what you're thinking. I don't want to go to the bathroom because I don't want to miss a play.
I want to watch the game.
I got good news for you. With DirecTV and one of these, you get to watch every game, every team, because they're on your phone. I go to the restroom 14 to 18 times per game. I've never missed a play. That's why God invented two hands. Are you lefty or righty?
I'm right-handed.
Okay. Oh, what the heck? I'm going to give you a training session. You guys talk about yourself. Come on, let's go. A lot of these phones got cameras on them. That picture gets out there, people start talking.
Watch any game live on your cell phone or computer, only on DirecTV.
So you wanted to trade in your old car, but it just wasn't a clunker. In fact, it's actually worth more than what the government was paying. How about this? Trade in your non-clunker for a new Santa Fe, and you'll get the Hyundai trade-in bonus. $1,000 more than what your old car is worth, plus cash back. And while supplies last, you'll get a year's worth of gas for just $1.49 a gallon. Looks like your old car just went up in value.
Commit yourself now.
I'm going with turning this ward upside down.
They're gonna be fun.
To the 2-hour premiere event.
That didn't take long.
I'm that good.
House. The new season begins Monday, September 21st on Fox.
Minnesota in front, 17-13. 9:59 to play in the third quarter. Trying to get that wound in the left arm of Adrian Peterson bandaged up, and bandaged up well. Ran in for the touchdown a moment ago, and lots of blood pouring out of that arm.
Somebody check in here. He said it could be a weak side run.
Just got it off. Play clock down to 1. And that's Jamal Lewis. And he bangs his way out to the 42-yard line.
Well, you saw the line over shift, the Minnesota defensive line over shift. Brady Quinn sounds like he checked at the line. Typically, you may kill a process that says an outside run to an inside run, a right side run to a left side run. Saw the overshifting in time and was able to get to that good weak side run.
Been a good day for Jamal Lewis. 9 carries, 46 yards. Lewis again, and pretty good yardage, real good yardage. That's a gain of 8 on a first down carry. But D.U. Williams coming up to trip up Lewis. Very valuable member of that Minnesota secondary. Benny Sapp limped off the field a moment ago. He won that nickelback position during training camp.
Looks like he may be cramping up as well. You got a lot of players. Don't know that for sure. The way that frustration looks like maybe a knee, but this again, the weather, first time full-time game, 70 snaps. It's going to take its toll.
Quinn, a poor decision there. You could see it from the time it left his hand. And Cedric Griffin with just about as easy an interception as you're ever going to get.
Brady Quinn expected Braylon Edwards to be on the outside with that and just threw it up almost like a jump ball. Braylon stayed inside. Ball goes outside. Turnover.
Cash for clunkers has ended quicker than anybody thought. But for a whole lot of people, it was a really great thing. Well, the way Hyundai sees it, when you've got a good thing going, you keep it going. So now when you buy a new Sonata, you'll get the Hyundai trade-in bonus. $1,000 more than what your old car is worth, plus cash back. Of course, you'll also get America's best warranty and the peace of mind of Hyundai Assurance. Now that's what you call a stimulus package.
You can't get Kentucky Grilled Chicken on a value menu.
Yeah, you can. Now you can get the great taste of new Kentucky Grilled Chicken for just $1.99. The new Kentucky Grilled Chicken Value Box, only on the KFC Ultimate Value Menu. Unthink, it takes the under $2 side of KFC.
We are the army for the animals.
Rescuing, we don't leave notes on your door.
Come on out now, man. We're not the typical rescue organization.
I don't care what you do. We're here for the door. Rescuing doesn't give up on anything.
Zero tolerance on animal abuse.
We'll do whatever it takes to help that animal.
Rescue Inc. Unleashed. New series on Nat Geo.
Justice has a new voice, and it says, I'm so cold. Get ready for action. Action. And plenty of action.
Come get me.
The Simpsons season premiere, 2 weeks from tonight on Fox.
Today's game on Fox is sponsored by Visa. Visa debit is easier than cash. More people go with Visa.
Welcome back to Cleveland, where Minnesota leads 17-13. I'm Carissa Thompson reporting from the sideline. A couple things. Adrian Peterson has a laceration on his left arm. It was from that IV. He's in good spirits. He's fine, drinking a lot of Gatorade, and will be okay. As for Benny Sapp, he was carted off the field and appeared to be in a ton of pain. He was hunched over. The cart came over. He slammed his right fist on the cart, but I'm being told from the Viking PR staff that it's just an illness. Appears to be more than that. Keep you updated.
Well, Carissa, we thank you very much. Carissa right on top of everything going on down on the sideline, including her reporting at halftime that Adrian Peterson needed some fluids. Was suffering from some dehydration. They gave him unquestionably the fluids in the left arm, and it looked like that area never got properly bandaged up, and thus lots of blood coming out after the touchdown, and they're back to work at it again.
That's old school, man. Just glue it. Just glue it shut and put the guy back in. I love it.
Gain of a yard on first down, 2nd and 9 for Brett Favre and the Vikings. And Favre to throw it. The tight end Shenko. About a yard short of a first down. We're expecting big things out of Asante Shanko. Very athletic. Came over from the Giants and had to learn an entirely new offensive system, and he gets more comfortable by the day.
And Brett Favre loves having a good tight end. Remember his days in Green Bay with Mark Chmura. A big part of what Brett Favre likes to do is those drop-off passes to the tight end.
Third in the yard, Peterson has a first down. DeQuell Jackson, the Browns' leading tackler from a season ago, came up to stop him, but not before Peterson, it appears, had enough for a first down. Although this is not a very generous spot.
Well, let's see what they're doing. They're giving it to him, so it is a first down.
Got to give a lot of credit to that Browns rushing defense. They were brutal in that category a year ago, and they've kept Peterson pretty quiet. Down goes Favre again. Sean Rogers. Tell you, the pass protection has not been very good for Favre today.
Well, we talked about early the matchup of Sean Rogers. Sean Big Daddy Rogers. Here's the call.
Holding. Number 65. Offense. 10-yard penalty. First down.
And that's the matchup we talked about with second-year center John Sullivan, who replaced Matt Burke in the middle. Last year, Sean Rogers led the Browns with sacks. I don't know if that's a good thing or bad thing. It shows that's great pressure from the inside, but when your inside nose tackle leads the team in sacks, you're not getting enough on the outside. He had 4.5 sacks last year, but that matchup against second-year center John Sullivan was something to keep an eye on and continue to keep an eye on.
The Browns on offense last year allowed 43 sacks of the quarterback. Loss of 8, second down and 18, and Favre fires to a wide open Percy Harvin, and he has a first down all the way out to the 42-yard line. There was some zip on that throw from the 39-year-old native of Kiln, Mississippi.
And watch Percy Harvin here coming out of the slot. Boy, this shows you the awareness of the young kid. The ball's coming in. He knows someone could be coming in there to take his head off. To settle, look the ball in, and now be able to make that second move. That's the specialness of a Percy Harvin that I know Brett Favre's thrilled to have on his team.
Well, they convert the second down and 18. And on first down, Adrian Peterson plows ahead close to midfield.
You got to love Percy Harvin yesterday. What did he do? He came in and he said he walks in and hear Brett Favre. And Percy Harvin was, what, 4 or 5 years old when Brett Favre comes into the league.
Right.
And Brett Favre goes up and introduces himself, says, "Hi, I'm Brett Favre." And Percy's going, "Yeah, no kidding."
Well, he had wonderful things to say about Favre.
Oh, he did.
The way he has really taken him under his wing to try and get him up to speed in a hurry as a rookie. That's a first down carry for Adrian Peterson. Well, right now, a game break. Let's return to Kurt Menefee in L.A.
Well, in 10 games last year with the Cowboys, Roy Williams had 19 catches total and 1 touchdown. He's matched the touchdown total today. This 66-yard reception from Tony Romo put the Cowboys in front of Tampa 20-7. That one in the third quarter. Tom and Brian.
First down, Chester Taylor replaces Peterson. He carries a couple of tacklers down to the Cleveland 40-yard line, a gain of close to 5 on first down.
Yeah, I think Favre's going to go vertical at one point. This game's beginning to get the feel of Minnesota saying, okay, we're going to take this thing over. We're going to pound away at you. Brett Favre's going to see more single high man defense than he's seen in his lifetime because of Adrian Peterson. He's going to have to take a vertical shot at some point here.
And he's got Bernard Berrien down at the bottom of your screen.
He's seeing something here. He's got a flat defense. He may see the matchups he likes.
They're going to give it to Taylor.
We'll give it to Chester Taylor off the right side for 10 yards.
They're really starting now to pound and pound and pound some more on this Cleveland defense, which has been quite stout throughout the afternoon. But now down to the 3-minute mark in the third quarter. And these are the kind of drives that can really wear down a defense.
And that's exactly what Brad Childress and Darrell Bevel want to do right now. Now, and that's what I was referring to. They're going to keep committing people to the box. They're going to give them an opportunity for a shot down the field. But if they can keep running at this effectively, Brad Childress would love to continue to do that.
10th play of the drive. And this is Adrian Peterson into the open field.
Wow, look at that.
Breaks a tackle down to the 14-yard line.
Abram Elam, you know, reminiscent of Barry Sanders. You play a Peterson like this, you sit up night fearful that you're going to look silly in the open field. This is just a great, look at him stick his foot in the sand and just accelerate out of that cut, leaving Elam in the dust. This is what makes Adrian Peterson the premier back in the National Football League. I'm not sure a fresh Adrian Peterson doesn't stay up.
Taylor on first down, coming up to make the stop, Eric Barton. That'll be the loss of 2.
You know, the stop and go, and the great backs, it's not just that they have speed and power, but its ability from a dead stop to cut, come out of it with speed. Now watch the cut. Normally that would slow you down, but Adrian Peterson is accelerating out of a cut like that. He's special.
51 rushing yards on 10 carries in this quarter alone for Peterson, after he had 1 rushing yard in the entire second quarter. Favre with protection and throws a bullet down to the 5-yard line. It's caught by Harvin, and it's 1st and goal. No, he's a yard short. I beg your pardon. Needed to get just inside the 4 for a first down.
Look at the focus of Percy Harvin. Now that's 2 plays. We've talked about the big play earlier in the drive. Don't have that shot for you. But there again, great body presence, great awareness to settle in a hole. Many times a rookie will run past that. Brett Favre's just loving having Percy Harvin on his side.
4-receiver set. Favre caught. Harvin extends. Touchdown. The first touchdown in the career of Percy Harvin. And he will never forget it, because it's thrown by the Hall of Famer, the future Hall of Famer, Brett Favre, who's the first one to get down there and give him a big hug.
Yeah, look at the smile on his face. Brett Favre knows what he has in Percy Harvin. And this isn't real complex, just simple as a screwdriver. I'm going to get the ball in Percy Harvin's hands as quickly as I can, and then I'm going to darn near beat him down into the end zone to jump on top of him and show him how happy I am for him.
Harvin becomes the 51st different player to catch a touchdown pass from Brett Favre in his career. So perhaps it's taken a little while to get this thing going for Minnesota offensively, but it's getting going now.
You thought you had time, but before you knew it, Cash for Clunkers was over, and the deal that was too good to pass up had passed you by. Well, your window of opportunity just reopened. Buy a new Sonata and you'll get the Hyundai trade-in bonus, $1,000 more than what your old car is worth, plus cash back. Of course, you'll also get America's best warranty and the peace of mind of Hyundai Assurance. So, here's another shot. Stay focused this time.
To the top, here comes Kurt Busch!
What does greatness taste like?
He'll race alongside!
Step up and order a Miller Lite.
We've got a tussle! We've got a fight! We've got a war!
We've got a rich golden color, a real beer aroma, and a true Pilsner taste.
A drag race to the checkered flag will be won by Kurt Busch and the Miller Lite Dodge!
There's light beer, and then there's triple hops brewed Miller Lite. Taste greatness.
Oh, what a finish!
Welcome to Sprint's Now Network, population 49 million. Right now, 25,000 Sprint NFL Mobile Live users are listening to live game day audio. 600 are listening at the game. 2,900 fantasy owners conveniently waited until now to text their opponent their star player has a bye week. And 1,600 players are drinking 32,000 cups of Gatorade, while 80 gallons are being saved for an unexpected bath. For more NFL Now, join 1.5 million NFL Mobile Live users. Text NFL to 7777, only from Sprint, the Now Network.
Fox Wednesday, the all-new season of Dance is just getting started.
Yep, absolutely.
Be there for the amazing auditions, the world's most excited contestants, and one dancer's incredible courage.
You are an unbelievable inspiration because you didn't give up.
An all-new So You Think You Can Dance, this Wednesday at 8, 7 Central on Fox.
When Percy Harvin was born in 1988, he was 3 years old when Brett Favre was drafted by the Atlanta Falcons in 1991. And here they are, one on the receiving end of a touchdown from the ladder. That's just amazing. Joshua Cribbs out to the 31. 3 years old when Favre came into the league. And now 21 years later, he's being tackled by the guy after catching a touchdown pass. Wow.
Number 56, the return team. 10-yard penalty. 1st and 10.
So we'll take a timeout. Cleveland with the ball, down 24-13.
It's pretty amazing how one click of a mouse can make you move, groove, bust it, shake it, get down, get funky, and let your freak flag fly. Visa Debit is the safe, secure way to pay online. More people go with Visa.
Rated E for everyone.
Dear PlayStation, my kids never want to hang out with me, but wait till they see this.
Yeah, not to be Buzzkill McGee here, but a better way to spend time with Kyle, Abby, and your lovely wife, Jenny, is to buy them a PS3. With Blu-ray movies and games like Little Big Planet, it's fun for the whole family. And way less, you know, lethal.
Jenny, how did you...
Ooh, Scraps likes you.
PS3, now $2.99.
PlayStation.
Introducing the NFL Legacy Collection. Inspired by the AFL 50th anniversary. Authentic game jerseys, t-shirts, jackets, and other gear. Available at select retailers and NFLshop.com. You want the NFL? Go to the NFL.
Fans and critics are raving. Glee is a true original and the best new show of the fall season.
I'm revoking your tanning privileges for the rest of the semester.
The smash hit series Glee, all new, Wednesday at 9, 8 Central on Fox.
Well, Coach Brian Billick, we said before the game ever got started, this one had a chance to come back eventually to the quarterbacks. Brett Favre has been extremely efficient. And now Brady Quinn with his team down 24-13, a minute to play in the third quarter.
And it's going to fall on his shoulders, kind of like we knew it would at the open.
Robert Royal for a first down out to the 30-yard line on a first down catch.
Brought Robert Royal in from Buffalo to replace Kellen Winslow Jr. Now that's a tall order. This guy's the most he's caught in his career in a given year is like 25, 30 passes in a year to replace an 80-catch guy like Kellen Winslow Jr.
Quinn. And the catch is made first today by Mike Furry. And that perhaps could be our final play here in the third quarter unless Quinn's going to try and get him. They're in the hurry-up mode. First time today they've gone to that hurry-up offense. And that's Eric Mangini's call as to when to do it. They hand it off to Lewis, who's to the 35-yard line, and that will be the final play of the third quarter. A third quarter dominated on both sides of the ball by the Minnesota Vikings. Brett Favre, his first touchdown pass in purple, back after a break from your local Fox station.
I am back, baby.
Bones returns for an all-new season with some things different.
Your brain thinks it's in love with Dr. Brennan.
Really different.
I have something inside my heart.
Well, blood is in your heart.
The new season of Bones begins this Thursday at 8, 7 Central on Fox.
Here. Are you serious? You're killing me. Happy?
It's not the same without the sauce. The original DQ chicken strip basket, now just $3.99. Served with fries and Texas toast. And finish off with an Oreo cookie jar blizzard treat.
Kentucky Lottery Scratch-Offs, the perfect way to say thanks for letting me borrow your weed whacker last year. Kentucky Lottery Scratch-Offs, the perfect way to say thanks for getting my cat out of a tree. Or just about anything.
If you have an accident, the last thing you want is for your insurance rates to go up. With accident forgiveness from Nationwide Insurance, they won't. After the first accident, your rates stay right where they are, kind of like it never even happened. I am Lori Rigsby, and I am on your side. Switch to Nationwide Insurance now.
Call 1-877-NATIONWIDE.
Experience counts. Count on the journalists of Fox 41 News.
Big third down to start this fourth quarter for Brady Quinn and the Cleveland offense, trailing 24-13. Cleveland has still not scored a touchdown on offense since November the 17th of last season. Flags will whistle this one dead. The question is it against Ray Edwards or Robert Royal?
I think you got the defensive lineman to jump here, going to make it a third and real short.
Encroachment. Number 93 defense. 5-yard penalty. Third down.
Well, they got the wrong number there. It was 91. And the penalty will give Cleveland a first down.
That didn't look like it. Looked like they were going to leave him in a third and short. So we'll see if they continue here, Tom, as we saw earlier before the break. That are they going to kick into a no huddle mode here after this first play? Do they feel like they've got to get into that mode now with a 2-score separation?
When a dangerous throw and then caught after it was tipped by Braylon Edwards, and that's a gain of 11 for a first down. So Lady Luck on the side of Cleveland there. And they are in the hurry-up mode, and as we mentioned, Eric Mangini said that's his call.
Yeah, Brian Dable, the offensive coordinator, they worked on this package on Friday, but it's Eric Mangini that will put them into this mode when he senses the pace of the game based on what's happening defensively, offensively, that they need to make something happen that's special.
Blitz coming, and the throw almost batted and caught by a Brown again. 2nd and 10. Let's check in with Kurt Menefee once again for a game break in Los Angeles.
Jake Delhomme has thrown 4 interceptions for Carolina, one of which set up this touchdown run by Donovan McNabb. But note that McNabb injures his back on this play, has gone to the locker room. Kevin Cobb now in at quarterback as the Eagles are in firm control, 38-10. And keep in mind, guys, that Michael Vick is under suspension and therefore not in uniform at all for the Eagles. Tom?
Many believing Philadelphia is the team to beat in the NFC this season after reaching the championship game a year ago. Losing, of course, to Arizona. That's a team not getting a lot of preseason pub coming off their first ever trip to the Super Bowl. And most of the pieces back in place.
I think they're waiting to see if they can back it up. They have not yet in their history backed it up with 2 good years in a row, and that's what people are waiting for. They continue in the no huddle mode. We'll see how far down in the red zone they want to take this.
Well, the hard count right there got the rookie Davis to move.
False start. Number 28 offense. 5-yard penalty. Third down.
So 3rd and 8.
And Eric Mangini showing some faith not only in his young quarterback, but his rookie center. that we talked about in the open. Alex Mack, a first-round draft choice rookie from California, to run a no-huddle offense with 2 young players like that is ambitious at least.
We'll call it 3rd and 13. We need to get to the 38-yard line. Quinn steps up and overthrows the intended target, Joshua Cribbs. So the punt team sent on the field. Mediu Williams applying the pressure to Quinn.
Well, they're having to bring some pressure, uncharacteristic of Minnesota. They're having some tough time getting pressure on the quarterback from just Jared Allen and obviously on the outside, and with Ray Edwards, where typically that's enough, but they have to bring secondary people and corners and safeties now to get pressure on Brady Quinn.
Zastadil. This punt, a fair catch signaled by Raynaud. Brett Favre and the Vikings back on the field, leading 24-13.
What do most quarterbacks do when they bust a finger? Go on the IR. Tony Romo, he goes and airs it out for 341 yards, and you missed it? Because you were at a baby shower on Sunday afternoon? Newsflash, Chief. With DirecTV, you can watch any game you want, wherever you are, right here on this bad boy. Who's up for a baby shower now, huh?
Watch your team wherever you are and get 5 months of our best TV package for free. Call 1-800-DirecTV.
Hi, my name is Kylie, and I found these happy words all over my dad's computer. 7777 happy words made happy pictures. I'm going to make a slideshow. Snappy and rambunctiously. I'm a PC, and more happy is coming.
All right, so there's pretty much 2 kinds of trucks in the world, dumb trucks and smart trucks. Dumb trucks give you exactly what you expect, brawn, same old, same old. But a smart truck gives you brains, too. It'll connect you to the internet, help find lost tools, dial your cell phone, and recognize your voice. You know how many smart trucks there are? Just one, the Ford F-150. Your 2.5-ton office just got some new software. It's not just a pickup truck. It's a Ford F-150.
Today's game on Fox is sponsored by State Farm. To us, nothing's more important than being there. By Windows, life without walls. By Bud Light, with just the right taste that never fills you up, the difference is drinkability. And by the Ford F-150. It's not just a pickup truck, it's a Ford F-150.
$13:15 to play here at Cleveland Brown Stadium along the banks of Lake Erie in Cleveland, Ohio. Brett Favre and the Vikings with a 24-13 lead, and Adrian Peterson just sticks his head down and got a big block from Jeff Dugan and rammed hard into Eric Wright.
I was watching. I wanted to see if Brett Favre has made a whole history out of doing things after a handoff to get teams to hesitate. All this, the fake pitch, the whirling dervish, the continue the action. This is Brett Favre. I was wondering how quickly he would get that back into the flow. That means he's comfortable with what they're doing, and it's good to see Brett doing this because it shows you just how quickly he's gotten comfortable with the circumstance.
Favre to throw on first down. They set up a screen. It's caught by Taylor. You know, you look at the whole Favre situation, and I know a lot of people were sick and tired of hearing about it. But, you know, I got the feeling in our visit with him last night, he was really stung by the really 1 or 2 players of the New York Jets that made the comment in a negative way about what kind of teammate he was. You look back over a 19-year career, I can't think of 5 guys that have had anything bad to say about Brett Favre as a teammate. Now, whether or not you like his decision to play for the Vikings, if you're a Packer fan for many, many years, you know, the indecision of saying one day you're ready to retire, the next day you're not. You know, that's Brett Favre's decision as to whether or not he wants to play. He's certainly entitled to change his mind, but he unquestionably knows by coming back what the expectations are for this Viking team, what they are for him, and the pressure that comes along with.
No question about it. And I think that was what happened in New York. Some of the players speaking out, maybe deflecting the responsibility. That was a team-wide failure in the second half. You get everybody that's ever played with Brett Favre in a room at one time. I bet you can't find 5 people that said, hey, I didn't love this guy as a teammate.
He's a hard guy not to like.
Absolutely.
Lots of time and dropped by Klein Saucer. So the Vikings will punt it away. A couple of drops on that drive. One by Taylor, the other by Klein Saucer. Favre has hit his 13 of 20, 113 yards and a touchdown.
And those that question, would Brett Favre be willing to manage a game? There's an example right there. Took a look downfield, nothing was there. Don't need to force it. We're up by 2 scores. I'll just drop the ball off.
Kluwe the punt, and here comes Cribbs. He broke one for a touchdown early in the game. And he's bottled up this time at the 25. So 11:43 to play in Cleveland. Do Quinn and the Browns have a touchdown drive in them?
Hey, it's Jimmy Football. Hey, do you know what's wrong with your cooler? I'll tell you what, it's not a grill. I want you to say hello to the Bud Light Grueler. It's a grill and a cooler. Ring, 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 ring. It's the future. Are we here? I think we are.
It's a grill and a cooler?
It's a grueler.
Tailgate approved.
Them other girls you done been with, none of them got nothing on me. Ain't got my style, they ain't got nothing on me, nothing on me. Let me break it down if you don't get it. Quality, I'm custom fitted. I'ma say it again, they ain't got nothing on me, nothing on me. Where I walk, where I talk, my
Only AT&T has the best selection of full keyboard phones, like the LG Neon, just $29.99 after mail-in rebate.
There are car radios. And then there is the voice recognizing, text out loud reading, turn-by-turn direction giving sync system in the all-new Ford Taurus.
Please say a command.
Read message.
Highway 8 closed.
Update route.
Turn right on Silver Road.
We speak car. We speak innovation. Introducing the all-new Taurus from Ford. Drive one.
This is Mark's life. This is his other life.
Agent 0014. Why 0014? Because I'm twice as smart as 007.
This is one hilarious movie.
Yes!
The Informant, rated R. In theaters everywhere, September 18th.
Get a look at the offensive leaders for the Browns. Quinn, Lewis, Royal. But quiet offensively again for Cleveland. Again, which did not score an offensive touchdown in its final 6 games of the year last season. None here today. Short game. And what a hit delivered by Antoine Winfield. And down is Davis, the rookie. He was involved in a 1-car collision. Nothing major, but lost control of his car and had an accident on the way to practice yesterday just before 8 o'clock in the morning. They took him in for an examination. Everything cleared out. He was fine. Obviously, he's on the field today. But he just took another collision, this one from Antoine Winfield.
It was a lot bigger hit than the one he was in his car, probably. He's probably feeling this a lot more than that one yesterday morning.
You know, to hear the people talk, and you talk about Antoine Winfield, you touched on it earlier. I mean, he's the smallest guy on the Minnesota defense and perhaps instills more fear than any player on the Minnesota defense. Short pickup on 2nd down.
You know, Tom, when you're around the Cleveland Browns, we were at the facility on Friday, and just the sense of, look at the names on that thing. You know, you're up here, and my buddy Ozzie Newsome, right? Paul Warfield. I mean, it's just this organization just reeks of the history of the game.
False start. Number 73 offense. 5-yard penalty. 3rd down.
First time we've called Joe Thomas's name all day today, and that's a good thing for him. He has really handled Jared Allen quite well here today so far. Third and 7, low snap. Quinn steps up and delivers a strike to Furry, and that'll be a first down out to the 40-yard line.
You know, and they're still in this no-huddle mode, and this is great. I mean, the clock is dictating. You got about a 3-possession game left. But for Brady Quinn, puts a lot of pressure on his shoulders now, because this is where typically a turnover can happen.
Pocket collapsing around Quinn, and he somehow escapes the trouble. And as he goes to throw it, he fumbles the football. It looked like he covered it up, or did he? Minnesota saying it has the ball.
We're calling Minnesota's ball. We'll see if it is here in another 20 seconds or if it changes possessions.
I think the Browns are conceding it will change hands because many of their players on their way to the sideline. It is Minnesota football.
And that's what I was alluding to, that in this style of play, there's just a lot of moving parts to it. Here, Brady Quinn going to the left, very difficult for a quarterback. Turn your shoulders. Obviously didn't have the grip he needed on it as he cocked his shoulders to make the throw. And here you are with Minnesota on a short field. Minnesota's going to try to get the ball off quick in case somebody wants to challenge it. I don't know quite what they would challenge, but they ran right on the field. They're ready, you can see, to get a snap in quick.
And they do get the snap off, and Peterson spins out of trouble and turns it into a 3-yard gain. Only one quarterback in NFL history, that was Warren Moon with Seattle, has made the Pro Bowl at the age of 40 or older. Favre will be 40 years old in less than a month. Never has a quarterback started a playoff game at 40 years of age. And Favre was just the 17th guy to ever try to play quarterback beyond the age of 40. Peterson into the secondary and tiptoes out of bounds. They'll spot it at the 12-yard line.
And this is how you end up leading the league in rushing. Yeah, this is where everybody talks about touches, how many times you should run in a game. When you've got control of the game, you're under 10 minutes in the fourth quarter, you're up by 2 scores. Now you just keep pounding and pounding and pounding away. Be shocked if you saw Brett Favre make any kind of foolish move here trying to get the ball down the field.
23 rushes, 114 yards now for Peterson, the 17th career 100 rushing game in his career, which is of course 2 years in 1 game. Picks up with a couple of yards there. And for the Cleveland Browns, we brought up last season, they had the 3rd worst defense in the NFL against the run. And you go back to 2007, they've allowed the most 100-yard rushers among all teams in the NFL.
Well, proverb in the NFL today, be good against the run and be able to run the ball, and they were neither last year.
Favre lost his footing and then is sacked all the way back at the 19.
And wasn't going to take a chance. This is what we're talking about. A different Brett Favre, a different situation. Maybe I try to step out of it, step to the side, throw up a jump ball, see if one of my guys can come down with it. Why? Why bother here? Don't take the chance. We're in control of the game. This is the managing of the game that we're talking about, that some people don't think Brett Favre is willing to do, but obviously showed there. He's got the idea of what it's going to take for Minnesota to continue to stay on a winning way.
Well, this protection of the quarterback certainly needs to improve. If there's one chink in the armor in this game, it's been that.
And this is a good offensive line. There again, we talked about John Sullivan on the inside, kind of new to the mix. Phil Lodeholt, we haven't talked about their their second round draft choice out of Oklahoma, but your starting right tackle is a rookie. Now, you can be good on your offensive line. You're only good as the weakest link, so to speak. Not that Phil Lodeholt is a weak link, but kind of a new center, a right tackle. This is something that Minnesota is going to have to make sure they're very conscious of as they go down the way.
37-yard field goal try for Ryan Longwell. And that one is good. So 27-13 Minnesota. 6:55 to go in Cleveland.
There for you and life's daily miracles.
Who's the best? This guy is.
There for you and your guilty pleasures.
Just take those old records off the shelf. I sit and listen to 'em by myself. Today's music ain't got the same soul.
But I like variety.
83 bands, all kinds of rock. Buy in September and get the unreleased Guitar Hero Van Halen on the house. Rated T for teen.
Nanomolecular what? A force field that prevents sludge.
Tired of the claims? Get a guarantee. Only Valvoline guarantees your engine up to 300,000 miles. Get Valvoline. Get guaranteed.
One play can change the game. Introducing NFL Red Zone, the new channel from NFL Network that can change how you watch the NFL. NFL Red Zone takes you from game to game on Sunday afternoons, live in HD. Get it now, or you could miss catching every touchdown from every game. To find out more, log on to NFL.com/RedZoneTV. You want the NFL? Go to the NFL.
Well, Fox's football coverage doesn't end when games are over. Afterwards, stick around for the OT, where the guys will bring you interviews, extended highlights, and a look ahead of next week's action. America's #1 post-game show. The OT, presented by Lowe's, is coming up after the late games, only on Fox. We asked Brad Childress how many times he spoke with Brett Favre after Favre became available, leaving the New York Jets. Said he talked to him 10, 12 times over the course of the ensuing months. Joshua Cribbs still on his feet and tackled at the 25-yard line. 27-13, the Vikings in front.
I figure the engineers who built the Ford F-150 are probably the same guys we all cheated off of in science class. We're thinking about pizza, they're thinking about aerodynamic wake properties. Crazy smart. Take fuel economy, for example. You can't get a truck with better mileage, and they didn't give up an ounce of power to get it. In fact, they actually increased the horsepower. Now that is some A-plus truck thinking. It's not just a pickup truck. It's a Ford F-150.
In 2 days, bring home the first summer blockbuster of the year.
That's cool.
With new origins and new revelations never seen before. X-Men Origins Wolverine, Tuesday.
You can't get Kentucky Grilled Chicken on a value menu.
Yeah, you can. Now you can get the great taste of new Kentucky Grilled Chicken for just $1.99. The new Kentucky Grilled Chicken Value Box, only on the KFC Ultimate Value menu. Unthink, it takes the under $2 side of KFC.
It's pretty amazing how one click of a mouse can make you move, groove, bust it, shake it, get down, get funky, and let your freak flag fly. Visa Debit is the safe, secure way to pay online. More people go with Visa.
This telecast is copyrighted by the NFL for the private use of our audience. Any other use of this telecast or of any pictures, descriptions, or accounts of the game without the NFL's consent is prohibited.
New cases. Endless
endless impossibilities.
What I want is the truth.
Fringe premieres this Thursday at 9/8 Central on Fox.
Cleveland with a football. Under 7 minutes to go in this 2009 season opener. The Vikings with a 27-13 lead over the Browns. Play blown dead before it ever got started. This was the kind of thing that Eric Mangini did not want to see.
Number 78, offense, 5-yard penalty, first down.
And that's the tough thing about when you run the no huddle in this situation. You know, those defensive ends, this is where they get their sack money. This is where their contract money comes into. They get all those sacks. It's tough on the offensive lineman wanting to get a jump. But you're exactly right. Eric Mangini, regardless of the outcome of the game, wants to finish strong and focused.
Well, clearly this offense has got to be a concern. Having not scored, well, now in what is about to be extended, unless they can get it together in a hurry, into a 7th consecutive game. Boy, those are two of the all-time greats. You brought up earlier, you know, the lore and the history of this Browns organization. The great Paul Warfield on the left. On the right, of course, Jim Brown. Both were invited in by the ownership and by Eric Mangini to speak to the Browns team, both their rookies and the veterans. Here's Braylon Edwards, and stretches out and nearly made a great catch.
How great is that, though? You're a Cleveland Brown, whether you're old, young, new, or not. A fan of this game, a historian of this game, Paul Warfield and Jim Brown. How great is that? And Eric Mangini has a history with. He started out as a ball boy and moved up through administration and was a coach here. And you know what a great thing to tap into the great history of these Cleveland Browns.
3rd down and 15. Quinn in trouble. Throws on the run, caught but short of the first down by Cribbs. Out to the 29, and they'll punt it away.
Well, you hear a little bit of the dissatisfaction here. You can see what I was alluding to. Eric Mangini, ball boy, then an intern, kind of upgraded to an offensive assistant, and now the head coach in 2009.
And all of that under the direction of Bill Belichick, who was coaching here while the Browns were still here before leaving for Baltimore, then came back into existence in 1999. Raynaud brings out the punt to the 37-yard line. And now with 6:11 left to go, we take a look at our game summary. Favre, this is the kind of game that we suspect he will be asked to play a lot of this year. Throw the ball 20, 25 times, get big chunks of yards in this great running game. Offensively,
no question,
very quiet for Cleveland again. Peterson, 91 rushing yards here in the second half. And he'll add to that total. Breaking into the open field. And he shoves away one, shoves away another, and blasts his way into the end zone. A spectacular run by the most spectacular runner in the NFL, Adrian Peterson.
Wow, this guy is special. And the great Jim Brown we just talked about. When you see a guy like this crank off a 64-yard touchdown run that leads to the great Jim Brown. And taking nothing away from Adrian Peterson here. This is a phenomenal run. Speed, acceleration, now strength. Watch this. He's just going to push himself right by Eric Wright, right by, making his way into the end zone. But like we also said, now this is what's going to drive Eric Mangini nuts. That kind of poor tackling, that's the type of thing he's got to overcome with this team that's really got to have a change of culture right now.
So that 64-yard run gives Peterson 180 rushing yards. He has gone by Tommy Mason for 7th place on the Vikings all-time rushing list in 2 years in a game.
Look at the strength, just pushing him right by, then being able to pull the leg and the arm away, and the acceleration then. Boy, this guy's spectacular.
Peterson, the first-round pick by the Vikings in '07, grew up in Palestine, Texas. And he was great from day one at Oklahoma. His junior year, that turned out to be his final year, he's hurt a lot.
Right, and that was
so
the
there
big
were
question.
questions about it.
That was the big question, and the teams that passed on him, you know, they'll get ripped now for how did you pass up Adrian Peterson, but the injury was a legitimate one, and at that point you really do have to listen to your medical people that are going to question how severe is it, how long is this guy going to play. There's a whole bunch of teams right now wishing that it may be taking that chance.
Unbelievable vision, acceleration, power, speed, the whole package.
It's a complete package, the complete package. And you know what? Still getting better. That's the amazing thing. And we talked about earlier in the game, in the passing game, getting him more involved in the passing game, which Brett Favre will do.
Cribb's going to bring it out 5 yards from his own end zone. And he takes a couple of heavy hits. Flags are down on the field at the 18-yard line.
This is the finish we're talking about by Cleveland now. Penalties, poor tackling, turnover. This is the kind of thing Eric Mangini was talking about, finishing the game strong, feeling good about yourself, win or lose.
There is no foul for an illegal low block as the player was tripped in to the other player. 1st and 10, Cleveland.
But there's some learning left to do here for Brady Quinn now. How's he going to handle this situation? Can you muster a drive? They're going to hear about that offense not scoring a touchdown since forever, since Pluto was a pup. And until they do, they're going to continue to hear it.
I tell you, I don't know what was in that IV at halftime they gave Adrian Peterson. But whatever it is, when we have halftime next week in San Francisco, bring some of that my way. Sacked is Quinn. In the first half, Peterson had 9 carries for 25 yards. He had 1 rushing yard in the second quarter. Here in the second half, 16 carries for 155 yards.
And that's what the great backs do. They wear you down in that 3rd and 4th quarter.
This guy right here's looked good today, Jamal Lewis.
He has, and Jamal staying healthy. That was going to be the question last year because Jamal really had a tough time putting back-to-back years together. Healthy. He was healthy that last year. That wasn't the issue for the Cleveland Browns. Him staying healthy this year for them to try to keep a balanced package is going to be a big part of whatever they do going forward.
Quinn across the middle, dropped by Royal. Well, Adrian Peterson 3 touchdowns today of his 25 carries. He had 10 rushing touchdowns all of last year.
Just again, you've said it several times, Dave, Tom. It's the complete package. Not the least of which is the toughness. Come in, get an IV. I'm tired. I'm sore. I'll come back out here and I'll crank off 100 and change in just the second half.
Brady Quinn hunted down by Jamie Mitchell, who delivered the hit as Quinn was just ready to cut it loose.
And this is a test for the Cleveland fans. We talked about it in the open as well. This is in 11 years since they've been back to Cleveland. Fourth new coach, new approach. You know, and they're asking a lot of the fans that trust us this time. We're going to get it right. And that's part of what Eric Mangini is going to have to deal with.
Quinn had forever to throw it and then throws incomplete to Furry. Ryan Robinson applying pressure, and 4th down, the Browns are going to go ahead and go for it.
Yeah, trying to salvage something here. It's all a learning curve for Brady Quinn. We got to remind ourselves that even though Brady Quinn is in his 3rd year, he has not played a lot, and every snap is a learning experience.
Quinn steps up right through the hands of Royal. That looked like a pretty good throw.
Yeah, Robert Royal, like we said, in to replace Kellen Winslow Jr., and that ain't going to get it done.
Well, beginning tomorrow, we invite you to make lunchtime your new prime time as FoxSports.com brings you lunch with benefits. You log on to check out new episodes of the original sports shows delivered to your desktop every Monday through Friday at 1 o'clock Eastern. It all starts tomorrow with the after party with Jay Glazer. Bring you some of the biggest performers only at foxsports.com on MSN. Tavares Jackson, who opened the season as a starter, closed the season as a starter last year, and thought he would be the starter regularly this year, takes over for Brett Favre with less than 5 minutes to go here in the fourth quarter.
And you know something, the more they can do this, if a game gets under control, everybody's talking about, can Brett Favre hold up at 40 years old late into the season? Well, this is a better team than New York Jet team of last year. And they're certainly going to weather it better. But the more you can do this type of thing, get Tavares in when the game is clearly under control, it will yield a benefit in November and December.
Well, you know, Brett Favre has said himself, you know, he's even questioned at times how much he will be able to play this year. And by no means, when we asked him to, you know, kind of qualify that a little bit, he said, look, he said, I'm planning on starting every single game this year. But the point is, I don't have a crystal ball. Just like I didn't know before I had the biceps tendon surgery, I didn't know how that was going to respond. So that delayed whether or not I was going to make a decision to come back. I don't know how a 40-year-old body is going to hold up because I've never been in a 40-year-old body in week 13.
And that's exactly with older players. That's always the question, no matter what their regiment, no matter what kind of condition they're in, their diet, how they take care of themselves. It's new territory. A little surprised that they're throwing the ball here.
.312 to go. And let's send it back to Los Angeles and check in with Kurt Menefee.
Adrian Peterson has 3 rushing touchdowns in your game. Tony Romo doing the same thing through the air for the Cowboys. This 80-yard connection with Patrick Creighton, the longest of Romo's career. 3 touchdown passes, 300-plus yards. Dallas in firm control, and time permitting at the conclusion of your game, we'll take your audience to see the Cowboys and Bucks. Tom and Brian.
All right, Kurt, thank you very much. So a good start today for Tony Romo and the Dallas Cowboys.
Yeah, and it's all about Tony Romo in Dallas right now. Can you produce without T.O. and all the things that go with being with the Dallas Cowboys? So far, so good.
Bluey has that one bounce into the end zone.
Like to have executed that just a little bit better. Hey, you can have lunch with me on Tuesday.
I was getting ready to ask you. I know you are part of the lineup.
Yeah.
On lunchtime with benefits.
And you don't have just listen to me. I got Mike Smith. I got Jack Del Rio, Mike Singletary, Mike McCarthy, John Harbaugh. John joined me on alternating weeks, and we just talk some ball. And it's not necessarily about their teams, but it's just, hey, what's going on? What are the trends? What do you think of Brett Favre coming back? Really enjoying, looking forward to visiting with these coaches and let fans kind of listen in and listen to a couple coaches just talk ball.
We'll all look forward to that. And again, that is on Tuesday.
Tuesday at 1 o'clock Eastern Standard Time on foxsports.com.
Look forward to that. Well, I mean, you're working more now than you did as a head coach of the Ravens.
I know, but it doesn't pay as well.
That's a slide by Quinn. Close to a first down out to the 31-yard line.
But you know what? I'm loving it. Just the ability, and I really think, and I know the fans out there, there's a lot of great things about this game. But the ability sometimes just to talk ball. I know there's a lot of things on and off the field and personalities. It's all good. But just talk X's and O's for the hardcore fan.
Well, there are a lot of them, coast to coast and really all over the globe. Now that the National Football League season has started.
Feels good, doesn't it?
It really does.
It's exciting to be back into the season. A lot of things going on. A lot of teams are going to be in the hunt for this thing. And we're looking at one of them right here, the Minnesota Vikings.
You know, you just never get the feeling outside of the big second half by Peterson that this Minnesota offense really ever clicked it into gear. Yet you look up on the scoreboard, they got 34 points. I mean, am I reaching here? I've never felt like they ever really got the whole thing rolling here today.
The one thing that was missing, we had some big plays, obviously. Vikings were 6th in the league last year in explosive plays. They were pretty good. but I know they're wanting to build on that with Brett Favre, taking his shots just at the right time. We really didn't have that short of the penalties in this game down the field, and you're going to start to see it with the Minnesota Vikings.
Everybody coming after Quinn, who gets it away to Anderson, or Lewis, I beg your pardon. And he's to the 42-yard line. Cleveland, obviously, as we've reached a 2-minute warning. You know, can they score a touchdown? They haven't done it in nearly 7 full games on offense.
Today's game on Fox is sponsored by Sprint. This is the NFL Now with NFL Mobile Live, only from Sprint, the Now Network, official wireless service sponsor of the NFL.
Wireless can bring even more freedom to the freest country on earth. So why should you be penalized for talking to someone just because they're on another network? Shouldn't you be able to call any mobile on any network at any time? It's a free country. Knock yourself out.
Introducing the revolutionary Any Mobile Anytime. Now on the Sprint network, you're free to call 250 million mobile phones nationwide without worrying about the meter running. Only from Sprint, the Now network.
There are side mirrors, and then there are the indicator light warning, radar sensor linking, blind spot penetrating side mirrors of the all-new Ford Taurus. So what doesn't show up in your mirror can still show up on your mirror. We speak car. We speak innovation. Introducing the all-new Taurus from Ford. Drive one.
Anytime you get an interconference game, it's a huge opportunity for you as a program, but also about notching one in the belt for the Pac-10. And I think you have to come out here and get into the contest and be at the venues to realize how hard-hitting and how explosive the athletes are on this side of the country.
Introducing the NFL Legacy Collection. Available at select retailers and NFLshop.com.
Well, depending on the length of this game, we hope to bring you bonus coverage coming up next. The conclusion of Dallas in Tampa Bay. So stay tuned for that. We have 1:55 to play in Cleveland. Quinn across the middle, caught by Furry. Down to the Minnesota 37-yard line. Clock continues to run. Cleveland does have 3 timeouts left, and even though they're down 34-13, they might use them to try and get in the end zone. Blitz coming. They lay it off to Furry again, and he's to the 25 for a first down.
You know, people might criticize that, say it's garbage, it's statistics, it's garbage. You know what? They're going to hear about that scoring drought until they score, and that wears you out. I don't care what you say. They've somehow, boy, they would love to come away with a score here.
Quinn across the middle to Cribbs. And there is Winfield again. Every time Antoine Winfield hits somebody, they're slow to get up. Man, does he hit.
There's a flag on the play here. Let's see what happens with this.
They got plays coming back.
But what you were talking about, Tom, we'll wait on the call here. And that was we made that point earlier. I can't think of another secondary guy. Bob Sanders in Indianapolis, but that's a safety. For a corner, I was just stunned by that comment and the observation that a corner, particularly that, forget his size, forget that and they say 5'9", he's probably more like 5'7", that a corner sets the physical tone for your defense. That's just amazing to me.
Quinn steps up, throws, open receiver. And it's caught by the rookie Muhammad Massaquoi, second-round pick out of Georgia. You know, Winfield, we talked about, grew up down the road in Akron, Ohio, went to Akron Garfield High School. He played at Ohio State. And in his 10th year in the league, he finally went to the Pro Bowl.
And everybody was thrilled. Here you see Adrian Peterson now. You're going to look at these numbers that we're about to put up here. And anytime, I don't care under what context, your name is said in the same breath as Jim Brown, you done pretty good, young man.
Take a look at those numbers.
And we're talking about Jim Brown, arguably for some, the greatest running back in the history of this game. Jim Brown is obviously an icon, and here's the master. And he had high praise for Adrian Peterson. Stirred things up a little bit with LaDainian Tomlinson, talking about how he looked at Adrian Peterson in that same class.
Down goes Quinn back at the 25-yard line. Ray Edwards there to meet him. You know, we had a chance the other day to visit with Jim Brown for about an hour and a half. 3 or 4 of us standing around. The perception of Jim Brown in some circles, and certainly for me, was so unbelievably different than the man I spoke to. There's a catch made by Royal. Does he get in the end zone? Yes. For the first time since the 4th quarter of Week 10 last season in Buffalo, the Cleveland Browns offense has scored a touchdown. Good for them.
Yes, and again, someone will put an asterisk on it and say, well, yeah, but it was in garbage time. But these are the little things you knock down, these little barriers to changing the culture that Eric Mangini, here you see Brian Dable congratulating Brady Quinn, because they know this is one of those little walls that you break down in building a new culture for a team.
416 offensive plays in between touchdowns on offense. 416 plays since their last touchdown, and it's their first touchdown at home by the offense since November the 6th of last year against Denver.
Just 4 verticals. Nice job, Robert Royal. Hasn't had a great game necessarily. Brady Quinn dropping the ball into a very difficult spot, right over the top of the defender. Robert Royal, give him credit, came up with the catch and the touchdown. Again, this is big. Big, wrong term. This is significant for them. Doesn't feel that way right now, but you're constantly knocking down these barriers to success. That's a little one that Eric Mangini's not feeling it right now. But maybe one less thing that you got to hear and deal with going down to take on the next barrier to keep you from being successful.
All right, we got 28 seconds left. Let's start with Eric Mangini and go to the film, and he'll do all that tonight. Your observation here watching this game today, you can walk away on a positive 1 or 2 things, and on a negative 2 things that better get straight.
Well, they did play hard. Opening half, let's see what they do with this onside here. The way they started their game, their ability to stay with the run was very impressive. I thought for the most part protection. Joe Thomas owned, other than late garbage sacks at the end, owned Jared Allen. That's pretty good. So, and I think their young center, Alex Mack, held up. Negatives there again, the inability to make the big play down the field and to consistently, that's a pretty good defense, don't get me wrong, but they're going to have to come up with those big plays, because even if you get the running game cranked up, this is a game of big plays now, and that's going to have to come.
Our game today produced by Bob Stenner, directed by Rich Dewey. Our associate director Neil Gallo, our broadcast associate Bill Cullen. The technical producer from right here in Cleveland, Ohio, in St. Ignatius High School is Bob Muller. Studio produced by Scott Ackerson, directed by Bob Levy. The senior producer is Bill Brown. Executive producers of Fox Sports are Ed Gorn and David Hill. And thanks up in the booth to Tom Barbary, our statistician, our spotter Scott Snyder, and all of our crew on this opening weekend of the 2009 NFL season. A winning debut for Brett Favre. So, for Brian Billick and Carissa Thompson, Tom Brenneman, so long. Let's go to Kurt Menefee in Los Angeles.
Welcome to the AT&T Game Break.
We're going to get you to the Dallas-Tampa Bay conclusion in just a bit. But first, let's catch up on what's gone on so far here in Week 1 of the NFL. And in that game that we'll get you to, the Cowboys getting a career day from Tony Romo, 353 yards and 3 touchdowns. Jake Delhomme, 5 turnovers, benched. Donovan McNabb injured his back, left the game. Eagles still in firm control there. Brett Favre wins his first game as a Viking. Adrian Peterson, 180 yards rushing in that one. New Orleans gets 5 touchdown passes with almost a quarter to go from their quarterback, Drew Brees. The Falcons start off 1-0, looking good against the Miami Dolphins. Meanwhile, Indianapolis wins in Jim Caldwell's debut, hanging on 300 yards by Peyton Manning in that one. The Jets, Mark Sanchez starts his first NFL game, wins his first NFL game down in Houston. Baltimore in a struggle with Kansas City, up by just a touchdown inside 2 minutes in that one. And Denver wins 12-7, an 87-yard touchdown by Brandon Stokely with 11 seconds left proved to be the difference. But for now, let's head it down to Tampa, where Dallas is trying to wrap it up against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Here's Kenny Albert.
With the Cowboys leading the Bucs 30-34-14, we welcome you who have been watching the Vikings and the Browns. Kenny Albert, Darryl Johnston, Tony Siragusa here in Tampa as Leftwich incomplete, looking for Maurice Stovall. Darryl, yesterday, the 33rd anniversary of the first game in Buccaneers history back in 1976. Raheem Morris, the Bucs' current head coach, was 9 days old. Wade Phillips was coaching in his first NFL game for the Houston Oilers under his dad, Bum. They beat the Buccaneers 20-0 at the Astrodome. Wade was the linebackers coach upstairs in a coaching box. So Wade actually coached in the first game in the history of the Bucs.
Some of the jerseys that were probably worn that day.
3rd down and 2 as we fast forward 33 years in 1 day. Leftwich incomplete, intended for clock. There is a flag.
Pass interference, number 21, defense. The ball will be placed at the spot of the foul. First down.
That's on Mike Jenkins. If you just joined us, Tony Romo, 3 touchdown passes of 42, 66, and 80 yards. Career high 353 yards in the air for Romo. Jenkins shaken up, heads to the sidelines. First and goal from the Cowboys' 9. Leftwich's pass off the hands of Clifton Smith.
But also for those of you who have just joined us at 34-14, you probably didn't think this was much of a game, but up until early in the 3rd quarter, Tampa Bay was right in the middle of this, and Raheem Morris has done a great job, kind of with all the change that has happened in the offseason of having this group in a position to come out and compete. And I don't think anybody expected the type of performance. Now, Dallas's talent caught up to him in the second half when they blew some assignments in the passing game, but they played a heck of a first half.
2nd and goal, Leftwich looking for the tight end, Stevens, incomplete. Early in this quarter, after the Derek Ward touchdown, the Buccaneers were within 20-14.
Yeah. I mean, they were right there, and then they gave up, 2 really, really big pass plays, and it's some of this too. I mean, they've had some critical drops during the course of this game.
And also, you got to, from the first half to the second half, Tony Romo really came out slow, throwing the ball behind a lot of his receivers, really not playing well. Went in, came out the second half, and it's been right on. It's a good quarterback should do.
3rd and goal for the Bucs. Leftwich can't find anyone. Now shovels it over to Winslow. And Winslow is out of bounds inside the 3-yard line.
Nice little improvisation here by Byron Leftwich. He's been hit so many times, he says, you know what? I'm not running anymore and getting hit. So I'm just going to throw it out here to Kellen.
Now 4th and goal from the Cowboys 2. 3 wide receivers, Smith the lone back. Leftwich had trouble with the snap. Now he throws, touchdown. Kellen Winslow Jr.
That'll be a nice finish for Tampa Bay. A little something positive to end this day on. Byron Leftwich, what a heady play. I mean, bobbled the snap coming out from center. Still the composure to re-get that ball into his hand and get a pass out to Kellen.
First touchdown pass as a Buck for Leftwich. Nugent.
And so the Buccaneers draw a little bit closer. Should they get even closer, we will update you, but we've got to get you out to the start of your late games. But before we do that, I want to talk a little bit about Brett Favre today, guys. Minnesota wins in Cleveland. 34-20 is the final. Favre, though, 21 passes, 110 yards.
I think it's less about what he did as much as what he didn't do. He didn't make the bad throw, didn't take the chance, played within the offense.
Yeah, 0 turnovers. You know, that's the number one thing.
Sacked
just
four
don't turn over.
times, but sacked 4 times. How long can he last if that keeps happening?
He got 180 yards rushing, by the way, in that game from Adrian Peterson to certainly help him. Now, most of you will get late games. Some of you, the majority, will see Eli Manning and the Giants hosting Jason Campbell and the Washington Redskins, while others will see the NFC champion Arizona Cardinals taking on Jimmy's surprise pick. He thinks this season, San Francisco and Sean Hill, he says keep an eye out for them. Meanwhile, Matt Hasselbeck in Seattle tried to bounce back from a disappointing season last year, while St. Louis tries to get off on a good foot at Seattle.
We're in St. Louis as the Cardinals take on the Cubs. Fox Saturday Baseball presented by Budweiser. This week, 4 Eastern, 1 Pacific.
Remember, it's not whether you win or lose, it's who flew you to the game. This is my team. Are you ready?
Fox NFL Sunday doubleheader action continues. Eli Manning leads the Giants into their home opener. But the Redskins are out to prove they are the class of the NFC East. Fox NFL Sunday doubleheader action continues next.
Weather on fox41.com.
The easy way to get all the weather info you need when you need it.
Current temps, 7-day forecasts, radar, live weather cam, and more.
When you need the latest weather information.
Go, click, and explore the weather on fox41.com.
Don't miss the 40th Annual Knife Makers Guild Show this weekend at the Silverback Hilton Hotel in downtown Louisville. Print your own show pass at knifemakersguild.com. Taco Tico. Now it's back with 3 locations. Taco Tico. It's all about the taste. Get your own.
Great news! Sam Swope's Cash for Clunkers is still going on now. That's right, Uncle Sam has run out of money, but the Sam Swope program hasn't. They will still guarantee your clunker up to $4,500. It's simple. Take the cash or use it for a down payment on any new or used car. Turn down or miss the government program? No problem. At every Sam Swope dealership, you will get qualified. Come in now and see how much your clunker is worth. Nobody walks away because everybody saves.
Here.
Are you serious? You're killing me. Happy?
It's not the same without the sauce. The original DQ Chicken Strip Basket, now just $3.99. Served with fries and
going through your mind?
Well, I think my overall...
Well, you know what? Oh, my goodness, Taylor.
We love you so much.
Full country music nominations.
You are the youngest artist.
What went down there. Because I've done a lot of your 8 seasons. Now they're Taylor is singing.
Well, you know, she's got to learn to speak up for herself. Meanwhile, Kanye has been doing the right thing. He called Taylor after her appearance on The View to apologize. She accepted his apology and said the details of the conversation between them will remain private out of respect for him. But I have a feeling the real reason she's keeping it quiet is because she wants people to tune in to... Have you heard about this big special they have planned?
This Wednesday night,
The Moon Man for Best Female Video goes to...
the innocent young girl
I always dreamed about what it would be like to maybe win one of these someday.
whose dreams were crushed
Beyonce had one of the best videos of all time.
finally gets her revenge. Wednesday night at 8. Payback will be swift. A swift kick in the nuts. Wednesday at 8 on Fox.
It's a 2-hour television event. Don't miss it. And I'll have to say, with all the talk about this Kanye and the carrying on at the VMAs, I think not enough attention has been paid to this.
And the Moon Man for Best New Artist goes to Lady Gaga.
She had to have a seeing eye dog lead her to the stage. Like Spider-Man without the eye holes. Last week, the former governor of Illinois, Rod Blagojevich, was here on our show. Now, Blagojevich was thrown out of office for allegedly trying to sell the seat Barack Obama left vacant when he went from the Senate to the White House. So while he was here, I suggested that we sell the seat he was sitting in, our guest chair, and he agreed. So we put it on eBay, and the bidding now is up to like $3,400. And if you want to buy the governor's seat, check this out.
It was a moment that TV audiences won't soon forget.
This seat that you're sitting on right now, this is my seat. You could sell this vacant seat on eBay.
Now, thanks to eBay and Jimmy Kimmel Live, you can own Rod Blagojevich's empty seat. The seat has clean lines and textured chenille cushions, hand-signed by the disgraced former governor himself, and previously used by a who's who of celebrities: Shaquille O'Neal, Paris Hilton, Mel Gibson, Megan Fox, Tom Cruise, and macaroni and cheese expert Ian Golder. So log on to eBay to bid on Rod Blagojevich's empty seat, and the winner gets a special bonus gift: a clump of Blago hair found between the cushions. So don't delay. Bid today.
Is it legal and ethical?
This time, it is. Auction ends Thursday, September 17th at 10:17 p.m. Deadbeat bidders will be prosecuted and impeached.
That seat, by the way, in addition to Rod Blagojevich, has also been sat on by not one but 4 Foxes: Matthew Fox, Jamie Foxx, Michael J. Fox, and Megan Fox, as we mentioned. You literally cannot buy a chair that has had more celebrity foxes on it than this one. And it's also been home to 2 little Philbin cheeks many a time. So bidding ends Thursday night. Get your bids in as soon as possible. This is funny. On Friday, there was a rodeo in Washington State. I guess there probably is most every Friday, but this one lost track of some of its animals, which created this delightful turn of events.
A funny thing happened as they headed for the fair. The cattle drive took a strange turn into this mini-mart, and it was all caught on store surveillance. 3 steers tried to get in, but only 2 got the chance to browse the aisles of this mini-mart. They moved a few chairs and even tried to run back out through a window, until finally a few real-life cowboys wrangled the steers, steering them back onto the streets. For the store owner's wife, it was pretty scary.
She's really scary.
You know, that's the sort of thing people from other countries think happens in America all the time. And this time it actually did. After 2 months of intense review, a Homeland Security task force is expected to recommend that the Obama administration keep the color-coded terror alert system they've been planning to get rid of. You know this terror chart? They recommended that they reduce the number of colors on the terror chart, but they keep it. In fact, actually, they're considering going with this simple, what they're calling an underwear chart. White means you have nothing to worry about. Brown means we're in trouble. Much easier and just as effective, I think. Oprah began her 24th season of broadcasting yesterday, and to kick it off, she gave everyone in the audience Kiefer Sutherland, which I thought, that's the kind of thing she can make happen because she's Oprah. Actually, for most of the show, she didn't have an audience. She had an intimate two-part interview with Whitney Houston, and I didn't know this. Apparently, Whitney Houston was using drugs for quite a while. You know that? The news seemed to catch even Oprah off guard.
What was your drug of choice?
Cocaine.
Cocaine.
Yeah, marijuana. That's it.
So your drug of choice was weed combined with cocaine?
Cocaine, rock cocaine.
With rock cocaine?
Yes. Yes. That was, and then there were other things like heroin, cocaine, speedballing, but you level it off with the marijuana.
Okay.
Okay? That's bad. Oh, yeah, That's bad.
I can't imagine.
Well, me neither. You know, I watched that whole thing. I watched both parts. I think the lesson that we learned from Whitney Houston and even Rihanna is if you're a beautiful female singer, don't ever date or marry anyone whose last name is Brown under any circumstance. Not even Charlie Brown. Steer clear. One more important piece of Oprah news. She has a new daytime TV show, not for herself. Oprah, as you know, owns a number of very successful shows. She owns Dr. Phil, Rachel Ray, and now a new one from Dr. Oz, her doctor. As of yesterday, Dr. Oz has his own syndicated talk show, and while I have not seen the show itself, I think the theme song is absolutely wonderful.
He's the guy who taught Oprah how to poop. He's the guy who taught Oprah how to poop. He's the guy.
Plop, plop, plop. Dr. Oz. Isn't that something? Someone had to do it. Hey, we got a good show tonight. Eva Longoria Parker is here. Kelly Clarkson is with us. And when we come back, Matt Damon and our parking lot security guard Guillermo together again. We'll be right back.
ABC's Jimmy Kimmel Live, brought to you by Las Vegas.
What do you want, Haggadis? I want to take Monday off for Chinchilli Day. I've never heard of Chinchilli Day. It commemorates the defenders of a tiny French village. Outnumbered and outsized, the courageous musketeers managed to defeat the badly behaved rogues. How do you celebrate? My people party in Vegas.
Show and tell. With all the pet hair in the air, my eyes would really itch. But now I have new Zyrtec Itchy Eye Drops. No other allergy itchy eye drop works faster or longer. Zyrtec Itchy Eye Drops work fast, so I can love the air.
Find it in the allergy aisle.
Hey, Dad, did you pick me at a cell phone?
Cell walls are thicker than plasma membranes and were originally discovered by Robert Hooke in a sample of cork.
Okay. So I guess that means you didn't find me a phone?
Thousands of telephone poles are destroyed each year by woodpeckers. Woodpeckers also nest in the cavities of trees, fence posts, and
Which
even
celebrity
buildings.
mom has another one on the way?
What? Soccer mom.
Hot moms.
Mom jeans.
Moms who wear jeans to match their teens' jeans.
Find the cure at Bing.com. It's not just a search engine, it's the first ever decision engine from Microsoft.
So you wanted to trade in your old car, but it just wasn't a clunker. In fact, it's actually worth more than what the government was paying. How about this? Trade in your non-clunker for a new Santa Fe, and you'll get the Hyundai trade-in bonus. $1,000 more than what your old car is worth, plus cash back. And while supplies last, you'll get a year's worth of gas for just $1.49 a gallon. Looks like your old car just went up in value.
Hey, Mom, I need some minutes.
I just gave you some at the restaurant.
Yeah, no, I threw them out. They were old.
Old? They're rollover minutes. They are as good as new. You know, not everyone gets to keep their unused minutes. And these days, we can't afford to be wasteful. Saving minutes.
Saves money, yeah.
Only AT&T's Family Talk with Rollover saves your family's unused minutes, and saving minutes saves money. For back to school, get the LG Neon for $29.99 after mail-in rebate.
You want to give your family a better life, so Rent-A-Center makes it easy to get the things your family wants and needs. No credit checks, no credit needed, satisfaction guaranteed. Hey, it's their way of making it easy on you.
With Rent-A-Center Super Values, score great deals like this new LG 42-inch 1080p full HD TV. Just $29.99 a week. No credit checks or credit needed. Delivery and setup included. 100% satisfaction guarantee. Only at Rent-A-Center.
Turn the key, hit the road, yeah. Come on out today, it's time to save.
This is your time. Time to save big on a new Toyota with the best overall value of any brand. Now get any new 09 Tacoma with 2.9 financing. Or get this 2010 Tundra with 2.9 financing or $1,000 cash back. Don't miss your time to save.
It's time to save.
See your Toyota dealer now.
On the show tonight from Desperate Housewives, on a Friday, she's hosting the Alma Awards here on ABC. Eva Longoria Parker is with us. Also tonight, as part of the AT&T Samsung Summer Crush concert series with music from this, her latest album, All I Ever Wanted, Kelly Clarkson from across the street at the Hollywood and Highland Center. Tomorrow night, by the way, David Alan Grier, a 10-year-old vacuuming expert, and Pink will be on the show. Later this week, Christian Slater, Rachel Ray, Jenna Elfman, Ed O'Neill, and Sofia Vergara, and Shakira will be on the show. Are you excited about that? Are you a Shakira fan?
Yes.
Who are you more excited about, Sofia Vergara or Shakira?
Both.
You're both. All right. This is Guillermo, our parking lot security guard. Applauding himself. By the way, I want to say hello to Uncle Frank, who's back on the job with us after... Uncle Frank, how you feeling? Uncle Frank was in the hospital getting a vasectomy, and it took a few days. Everything come out all right?
Yes, I'm fine. Thanks, Jim.
Okay, now no more danger, no more unwanted kids, right? You promised.
No more. No.
All right, very good. Well, now, I want to say, Matt Damon, now, you know Matt Damon, the actor. I personally have a complicated relationship with him. Matt has a new movie, it's called The Informant, that almost did not make it to the screen because I guess some of the footage got damaged and they had to reshoot a key scene, but Matt couldn't make it to the reshoot because, Guillermo, why couldn't he make it again?
Because he was in New Jersey doing a movie about the life of Queen Latifah.
Right, that's right. He was in New Jersey shooting a movie. He plays Queen Latifah, and I hear he's amazing in that. But anyway, since Matt couldn't do it, they had to find another actor to play his character. And I wanted to show this because they did such an amazing job. This is Matt Damon's replacement scene. Now you're going to see his co-star Joel McHale and someone I think you might recognize from the new movie The Informant. Enjoy.
Mr. Whitaker. Mr. Whitaker? Yeah. Okay, ready? Here we go.
Action.
Mr. Whitaker, if what you're saying about ADM is true, the FBI could really use your help.
Of course I will help. There's things going on that I don't approve of.
We want you to wear a wire.
A wire?
A wire.
A wire?
A wire.
Can you speak a little bit slow?
Will you wear a wire?
Hey, what is
sorry,
a
guys,
wire?
I had a lot of traffic. Sorry, I'm late. You. What's going on here?
We're reshooting a scene.
You're reshooting this scene without me?
Well, they said that you were busy with that Queen Latifah movie.
Queen Latifah? I'm not playing Queen Latifah.
Yeah, that's what they said, so it's...
Who told you that? Dude, did you tell him I'm playing Queen Latifah in a movie? And you believe that?
Well, I don't know what people do. I mean, up until a minute ago, I thought he was you.
You thought he was me. He looks nothing like me. I mean, yeah, now I know that now, but you know, he's a very good actor. He's not an actor. He's a parking lot attendant at Jimmy Kimmel.
And I am an actor.
You know, you're not an actor. It's not the first time you've done this to me either.
I am an actor.
You're not an actor.
Yes, I am.
No, you're not.
Yes, I am.
No, you're not.
Yes, I am.
Is that my mustache?
Hey!
You can't just take things from people, man.
Okay, let's just calm down. Matt, take a breath. Let's just take a breath, but... All right, see?
How do you like me now, my Damien? No running this time.
I didn't run last time, you did.
That's what I mean. No running.
Bring it on, mother.
I've been training.
You have been training. Hollywood rules?
Hollywood rules.
Why are you guys fighting in slow motion?
Hollywood rules.
What? We take a hit in the face, we're actors. You look like idiots. Look at you. You're like such a worse way to fight. Oh, that hurts so bad. But it won't leave a mark. Oh, thank God. We're not done yet. Hey, guys. I think I have a way to make this scene work. Okay, what's the way? Oh,
What I'm about to tell you, it involves something very large.
Yes!
Corn goes in one end and profit comes out the other. Weird, right?
Mr. Whitaker, if what you're saying about ADM is true, the FBI could really use your help.
Of course I'll help. There are things going on that I don't approve of.
We want you to wear a wire.
A wire?
See? Sometimes it's better to share.
Whatever.
Come on, I'll buy you a taco.
I'm gonna kill Kimmel.
Informative Theaters on Friday. Guillermo, everybody. Thanks to Matt Damon. We'll be right back with Eva Longoria Parker.
Have won. Scrabble at Subway. You could win $100,000 jackpots or exclusive prizes like Prius cars, beaches vacations, cash, and Live Nation VIP concert access. Play Scrabble at Subway, where winners eat.
So, you need to find some cool stuff and you want to save some money. First stop, Bing, where 6.1 megapixels never looked so good, new kicks never felt so sweet, and smart stuff has never been such a smart buy. Because the only thing better than shopping, cash back when you do. It's not just a search engine, it's the first ever decision engine from Microsoft.
Spit out your Stride gum and chew another piece already, or we'll find you.
Got the gum.
The ridiculously long-lasting gum. New Stride Uber Bubble.
For us. From Jerry Bruckheimer
We help identify John and Jane Doe's.
comes television's newest heroes.
We are going to cover every angle.
ABC's The Forgotten. Series premiere next Tuesday at 10/9 Central on ABC. It was one of the most unforgettable season finales on television. Thursday, September 24th. The year that changes everything begins.
Kamikaze airplanes in the sky.
With a 2-hour premiere event.
Going down, or will we fly?
They're asking me to take the job. Take my job.
This time, it's sink or swim.
ABC's Grey's Anatomy 2-hour season premiere. Thursday, September 24th on ABC.
Here. Are you serious? You're killing me.